Hi there, welcome back to Dave's Desk, Bible Basics. Today we've reached the first book of prophecy, the book of Isaiah, and a quick sort of side note on prophecy. Often we think of prophecy as predicting the future, but in the Bible prophecy is about speaking truth. So God speaks truth to a prophet, and the prophet speaks truth to the person or the people that God has sent them to. And so some prophecy in the Bible is saying this is what's actually happening now, and some prophecy in the Bible is this is what's going to happen in the future. And Isaiah has both, and a lot of the prophets have both truth-telling for now and truth-telling for the future. And Isaiah is a really important book for Christians to study. It's sometimes referred to, slightly inappropriately, as the fifth gospel, because it contains so much of God's story of salvation within it. Isaiah is writing at a time when Israel is broken in two, and the northern kingdom is really struggling, and the southern kingdom where Isaiah lives, Judea, is also struggling with leaders who just aren't faithful. And so the prophecy starts with talking about the truth now. It describes Israel as a vineyard, but a vineyard that's not producing fruit and therefore will need to be dug up. The book talks about the judgment that's going to come on Israel, how God is going to look after Israel through that, but that ultimately Israel will lose the land. In that sense, it starts speaking prophecy of the future. And the nations are all going to suffer judgment, and Israel is going to suffer judgment, but God is going to keep a remnant safe. There's going to be a new Exodus for when Israel left Egypt to take the promised land. There's going to be a new Exodus where the people leave captivity and return to the promised land, and there's going to be a great and wonderful day of the Lord when there'll be celebration and feasting. And right at the heart of the book, around chapters 48 to 53, we have these songs about a suffering servant. These songs of someone who will suffer in order to allow and enable God's people to be healed and to be set free. And in these songs, Isaiah is speaking about Jesus, someone who won't live on earth for hundreds and hundreds of years, but whose message of redemption and victory through self-sacrifice starts there. And it reminds us that as Christians we're inheriting salvation. It's this great plan that's taken many centuries to get to us, and we stand in this line of faithful people who've read those words and recognised their truth and turned to God and been saved. So I'd encourage you to read, perhaps start with Isaiah 53. If you've never read any of Isaiah, that's a good place to start. But there's really rich words in there that can help us to appreciate the depth of God's love for us. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.